What's up? What's up? Skakel in the house. Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to a rare IMAX stream, old school. We're breaking all the rules today, baby. Just doing a little Thursday morning live in the Earlverse. The neon sign is back in business. Thank you very much. Keith in the house. This is Keith. I don't believe you've ever seen an old school IMAX stream, but here we are. The neon sign is back in business. Thank you very much. Earl Skakel live Thursday morning. We're experimenting with just doing baby half-hour streams. I do like the widescreen view. You get a little more. We can go lower, so there we go. It's a little different. Now, I've been told that the streams are promoted better on your phone. But what are you going to do? So we take a bit of a hit numbers-wise. It is weird how sometimes people get notifications and sometimes they don't. But that is out of my pay grid, to be honest with you. I'm not quite sure why that is. But good morning. Michaela in the house. Always a pleasure to see Michaela. We got some old schoolers in the stream today. And, this won't be a terribly long stream, but I will be at the Comedy Store Saturday night, 12 o'clock, main room. Who knows? I might stream a little bit from the store. Or I might not, It depends on my mood. Now, I've often wondered what would happen if I started streaming on my phone, too. Just get like a double live, but I'm too lazy to do that. I stream for fun, although the numbers on my what's up? Does Polly hang there much? I thought you said bang there much. He's on the road a lot. You might not think, don't worry about it, hi-fi. You might not think that Paulie is on the scene anymore, but he does the road a lot. So he's pretty much on the road every weekend. So, but he is there, well, thank you, Keith. I don't know if this is more important, but this is just a small stream. We stream for fun. And I think Polly lives in the house behind the Comedy Store, which I've been in. It's really nice. It's like a 3 or 4 level house. And I know from time to time some comics stay there. The Shore family is actually pretty cool. They put up comics there who maybe work at the store who can't afford to live in LA. I don't know what they charge them for rent or whatever, but sometimes I don't think they charge them at all. So and they just increased the pay across the board at the Comedy Store. So, that's why I love the Comedy Store. They treat me very well versus, like, say, the Laugh Factory. That I closed out a show there about a month ago, and I did very good. I mean, put it this way, Tiffany Haddish couldn't follow me, and they just were like, "Yeah, call us in a few months." A few months? I just did better than everyone on your fucking lineup. But that's the business. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Jersey in that game. 9-0. Yeeks. Of course, I was watching the King game last night where they're up 3-2, and then Macklin Celebrini. That guy's the real deal. He's like the new McDavid, I think. So, of course, the Kings were without 4 forwards last night. Kopitar, Armia, Moore, and Corey Perry. So they're a bit shorthanded, but that's a point they're going to miss down the road. And as weird as the Kings season has been, they're still only like 2 points out of first place. This A. Thompson is an old school IMAX stream. Now these IMAX streams traditionally don't do very well at all numbers wise. But I believe William Zoom told me, he's my confidant, that YouTube pushes the vertical streams of a phone more than they do a stream like this. So I prefer this stream because you can see you get, it looks a little more cooler. You see more of the background here. It looks like an actual talk show set or whatever. Got my Vince Neil poster right there. And, but the great thing about these IMAX streams is I don't get many trolls at all. I didn't even know that Mr. Olympia was still a thing, to be honest with you. I couldn't name you one bodybuilder. Which, back in the day, I could name them all. Serge Nubret, Robbie Robinson, the Black Prince, Barry DeMay, the Flexing Dutchman, Quadzilla, Tom Platz, Rich Gaspari, Lee Labrada, the Golden Boy, Bob Paris, the King of Symmetry, Frank Zane. I literally could not name you one body. I couldn't name you the last 10 Mr. Olympias. Yeah, I mean, who knows what they're taking now? I mean, I knew a guy when I was working at Family Fitness, which oddly enough in Beverly Hills was kind of a bodybuilder gym because it was real on the DL. It was a pretty good gym, not the biggest gym. They had like 8 racquetball courts. If they would have had some of those be gym weights, it could have been a decent, bodybuilder gym. But I think bodybuilders liked it there because they could, just do whatever they were doing and not really have the eyes of, say, a Gold's Gym watching you. And there was a guy named Will who was taking the same steroids that they gave Bowles to make bigger. And he was taking the dosages that they would give like a 1,200-pound bull. So, unfortunately, Will just kind of disappeared. So I think he got into trouble with people because he was always going to Tijuana to get steroids. So, I mean, the steroids today are so advanced that they're pretty hard to detect. Yeah, I mean, look at Dorian Yates back in the day. He was, my God, he was a fucking monster. And cut. Flex Wheeler, pretty big guy. Who was the guy who ended up being crippled, the black guy? Ronnie Coleman. And look how big Ronnie Coleman was. But, also look at the end results of his body. The guy's a cripple. Jay Cutler was a big. Mike O'Hearn is a big guy, and he's a fitness model, but like he's a big guy. I've seen him in person. I'm trying to think. I mean, Dorian Yates made Lee Haney look anorexic, and Lee Haney was a big guy. Um, but the '80s, that was, those guys were on the sauce. Yeah, Jay Cutler's pretty good health. I mean, a lot of those guys, some were smart about it, some weren't. Well, Rich Panera was, wasn't it Rich Plana, or am I crazy? I don't think he ever had aspirations of winning Mr. Olympia. He just wanted to be the biggest guy on the planet. And I think for a while he was. And look what look what that got him. Um, you got to think the cholesterol of eating 40 eggs a day, even if it's egg whites, is pretty wacky on your body. Um, well, you can when you do all that stuff, it just your body stops making stuff. Like, that's why I never did TRT, because the guy told me, "Hey, if you do this long enough, your body naturally will not make TRT anymore. So you have to be on TRT for life." And if you look at what happened to the MMA guys who did it, Dan Henderson and Vitor Belfort, they looked amazing well into their 40s. I think Henderson was close to 50, and he looked jacked. And then the UFC started saying that TRT was no longer allowed, and those guys look like deflated tires. So that's why you see a lot of wrestlers from back in the day. Their bodies literally outgrow their skeletal system. Yeah, Plana did not look. I would not want to look like that. If I could choose a bodybuilder to look like, it would be either Bob Paris or Frank Zane. I've seen Bob Paris in person back in his prime. I remember I saw him at a bookstore in Brentwood, and I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, Mr. Paris, I just want you to know you're the reason I drink Dynamic Body Shaper." And he looks at me and goes, "I don't drink that shit." I'm like, "Oh." Yeah, I'm sure TRT in 2026 is pretty, is that down 29,000? That's crazy. I would guess my testosterone is, I guess it's about 600. I'm still pretty strong. Like, I do sets of one with 130-pound dumbbell bench presses. That's pretty good for 57. And I have a horrible body for bench presses, because my arms are so long and they're not overly muscular. So probably in my, yeah, I don't really need to look any bigger than I already am. So, I'm happy with how I look. Girls seem reasonably attracted to me. So, I'm okay. Yeah, better living through chemistry, as I believe Mac Davis said in North Dallas 40. But, I don't make my living on my body, so I'll just take it slow. You look at some of those, it's not only is your body literally outgrowing your skeletal system, but it's the cholesterol and all the other side effects. I've never seen that. I've seen some girls' vaginas that don't look normal who were bodybuilders and extreme fitness models. And man, did it stink down there. I gotta be honest with you. The dog is literally right behind me. She just ate, had some water, and she's the reason I'm streaming right now, because she woke me up. Ken Mosca in the house. Chad Zumach questions are now on the table. That's another new rule. Anytime Ken Mosca is in the house, we can talk about the Z-Man. We got a big game Monday, baby. Big game. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm just kidding, Ken. I'm sorry to hear that, Kay. I mean, I don't know if Tomlin's out. I don't know. I think his job was saved. They made the playoffs again. I mean, I mean, the big thing for the Steelers Monday night is how do they deal with the Houston pass rush? Rodgers ain't exactly mobile, but yeah, I mean, the Texans defense is fucking good, but Rodgers still has it. He ain't the problem. And the Steelers have a lot of weapons, that you don't look at that offense because they don't really blow teams out of the water offensively. Um, but if you look at, they've got Metcalf, Fryermuth, and Smith, the two tight ends. Too bad Washington's not available. 6'8", 300-pound pass catching tight end. The guy's untackleable, but he's got a broken arm. So unless they give him the Nick Nolte treatment in North Dallas 40, he won't be available. And, Gainwell, I think he was the leading receiver on the team this year. He's good out of the backfield and running. Warren's good running. So it's not like, and Scantlin, you could tell Rodgers is comfortable throwing to him. And then you've got Calvin Austin. So they're not devoid of weapons, but they're going to have to really establish the running game to make the defenders hold in the box so Metcalf can, they're going to double team him. So it's going to really, I think Fryermuth's going to be key. Yeah, no, oh, no doubt. I mean, listen, even though the game is in Pittsburgh, you have to favor the Texans, but yeah, 100%. I mean, the offensive line of the Steelers is, I mean, you're gonna have to do short passes, dunk and dink, running game, turnovers on the defense, and it's going to be a great game. I mean, Rodgers. Listen, man, that guy can squeeze the ball into a tight circle real fast, and Metcalf can get going. I mean it. You know, just keep him away from the stands, and he should be all right. But obviously, you'd have to favor the Texans. Yeah, Keith. I mean, the Bills. I mean, there's going to be a lot of good games. I mean, there's really not a dominant team in the AFC. I mean, you could make a case for every team. Like for the Steelers, they're going to have to play perfect to pretty much get to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, Stroud's a great quarterback, but that's the Steelers. You've got Watt, Highsmith. I mean, that's tough to defend. And then you've got Hayward in the middle. Queen. I mean, Ramsey had a bad game last week, but he's good. Porter. I mean, their defense is going to have to really help the offense out. I mean, Stroud's mobile, but the Steelers are going to come for him. So it's. I mean, obviously, I want the Steelers to win. If I'm a betting guy, I mean, I think the Texans are 3.5. They got to give 3.5. I mean, it's a tempting bet. It's going to be a close game. And, the Steeler crowd's going to be big. Yeah, I mean, they're going to come at Stroud. I mean, this will probably be the toughest defense he's played against. Definitely going to be the toughest defense the Steelers have played against. So, who knows? The sign is back. To be honest with you, Lois stepped on a very small button and cut the electrical system to the sign. I mean, literally, she could walk underneath my desk right now 100 times, and 99, she would not hit this button. It's such a small button to hit. I don't know what the weather is like in Pittsburgh. That could, if it's cold, it benefits Pittsburgh a little bit. And I mean, Boswell's a key. He's going to nail some big ones. And it turns out Boswell didn't really miss that extra point. Some guy on the Ravens tipped it. So, because I mean, Boswell doesn't miss extra points. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a great weekend of football. So I root for Buffalo. No, it really, like I'm telling you, this button is minuscule. Like that, and she, like, because her vision's not good anymore. She just roams around. She loves going under the desk. So that's funny, KS. I won my fantasy league 3 years in a row, and then I quit playing. I was just too much of a Steeler fan too. Oh shit, we got Roy Cohn in the house. So Dabbleverse questions are definitely on the table now. Roy is what up, Big W? Roy is a Dabbleverse provocateur. I'm out of the Dabbleverse business. I was never really in it, to be honest with you. Well, I just, like I'm a Steeler fan. So if I had Tom Brady as my quarterback and they're playing Pittsburgh, I would sit Tom Brady, which is insane. Of course, he'd throw for like 6 touchdowns against the Steelers. But I still won my fantasy league because I mean, Lois's team, Steelers for life. I was very, like, I would always draft a kicker first because in fantasy football, everyone's going to have a good quarterback. Everyone's going to have a few good running backs. Everyone's going to have a few good receivers, a good defense. What up, Richard Keish? But, there's only a few elite level kickers. So if I was playing fantasy football this year, my first draft pick, it wouldn't be Aaron Rodgers. It wouldn't be Metcalf. It wouldn't be Pickett or CeeDee Lamb. It would be Chris Boswell. That's just how I roll. Because the Steelers are an offense. It's not going to score a lot of touchdowns, but they're going to have a lot of field goal opportunities. And Boswell's good from 55 and under. So, yeah, it's the same thing. Like when I was playing fantasy football, I would draft a kicker and a tight end. I draft a kicker first because this is when, like, Mike Vanderjack of the Colts was like, he was the guy. There's Mike Vanderjack, maybe Tucker, maybe one or two others. And it was a 12-person league. So, people were like, yeah, you can have Mike Vanderjack. I want Tom Brady. And then, I would draft like a tight end, like say Ben Coates, who was money in the bank, baby. And people are like, I'm not drafting a tight end yet. Well, a tight end is basically a third receiver. So, yet the sign is good here. I mean, I really like the widescreen. Yeah, I mean, Janikowski was huge. I mean, he was like the original long ball kicker of that era. So, I was good with the waiver wire selections. I mean, I was a maniac. I would buy the magazines. I'd go online for like an hour a day. Okay, who's injured? I had a friend of mine who worked for the Rams. I'd be like, hey, man, any injuries around the league? Like, that's how crazy I was about it. And ironically enough, the next stream I do with my phone, I'll show my 3 fantasy titles right over there. Yeah, Phil Dawson was good, but Vanderjack was like he was like the guy to get because the Colts were going to score a lot of touchdowns. They're going to kick a lot of field goals, and he kicked indoors for most of his games. So, how come you have no wrestling belts? I don't know. I don't know. I'd rather have a couple action. That's my buddy Effie right there. Effie's an openly gay wrestler. The 15-1, that's good. I mean, it's so lucky though. You just have to draft players that Well, I did have, who did I else did I have? Good evening, good morning, wherever you're from. I did have Marvin Harrison for a couple seasons. I'm trying to think some of my Eric Metcalf. Eric Metcalf was great because he was a tweener. He was both a running back and a receiver, so you could use him in either position. There weren't many players who you could do that with. So, thoughts on Minneapolis? It hasn't been asked. I mean, you know, pretty crazy that I mean, it's not a good look for ice. Uh, yeah, Vanderjack definitely like he lost his mind fortunately for me after I stopped playing, but I'm trying to think who else. We'll get to Minnesota in a second. I mean, I had Curtis Martin. Now, our league operated, it was 12 teams, 12 players. So 144 players would get drafted, and we had $150 in fake money. That was our salary cap. And I think the buy-in was 200 a team, and only the top 3 people got paid. So, I mean, remember the funniest thing I ever did at the draft was one year I really wanted Terrell Davis because I wanted to trade him for a bunch of players down the road. I figured I'd have him for the first couple weeks of the season, then I'd trade him. So I stood up. I had the first pick, and I was like, Terrell Davis, $100. And I think I won him for exactly $100. So I had $50 to pick the remaining 11 players. And I won my league that year because I think 3 or 4 weeks in, I traded him for like 6 guys. So, yeah, that's, if you could get those twofers like Metcalf, Colston, I mean, I'm trying to, like Gainwell would be good if you were playing today because he's a running back, but I think he led the Steelers in receptions. So I don't think you could. Yeah, Hushmanzada. I had him for a few games. Trying to think who else I had that was like, um, man, it was such a fun era, mid '90s football. Well, Gainville, I guess you could only list him as a running back, but it's basically like having another receiver. But like Metcalf, he was great because he played running back, receiver, and he returned, I think, either kickoffs or punts. So he was like having 3 different positions. I think, who else did I have? I probably had a couple Steelers. I think I had like Willie Parker. Um, so, and to show you how serious I took it, I once traded the Carolina running back Fred Lane, who had died. I somehow knew he died before most other people. I traded him to a guy in my league for a backup kicker. And then, like 2 days later, the guy's like, "Hey, man, Fred Lane died." I'm like, "Oh, bro, I didn't know, but this is fantasy football. There's, the rules are the rules, brother." Earl Skakel live Thursday morning and a very rare IMAX stream. Hit the like and subscribe button, although I think we don't have many new people in there. That's the only bad thing about the IMAX streams. There's a good thing and there's a bad thing about the IMAX streams. Good thing is there's no trolls. For whatever reason, the trolls don't come in on the IMAX stream. Bad thing is there's not a lot of new people. So I do believe that YouTube really pushes the vertical feeds. Yeah, that was our fantasy team. We were, 6 points for a touchdown, 3 for a field goal, but then we had a bonus if it was, what was it? I think if it was 50 yards or more, you'd get a point for each yard. So if someone hit like a 58-yarder, that would be 3 points and then another 8 points for the 8 yards. So if you had a long bomb field goal kicker, you could get, as many as 20 points a game. If he like hit a few 50-yarders, a couple extra points. So would you pick Vigorous Vigors in fantasy horse racing? I would definitely pick Vigors. Vigorous Vigors didn't really have a great career, but Vigors, the Great White Hope, awesome. Awesome. Check out, I'll put this in the chat. My Vigors. Check out Vigors Santa Anita Handicap. The greatest come from behind. TB, what did you change handles? I would take Seattle Slew in fantasy horse racing. The Slew. And also he had some good babies. You had Tsunami Slew, Slew of Gold. I think there was another Slew. If I ever win the Powerball, I'm just going to go to Vigor's grave and Seattle Slew's grave. I believe they're both in Kentucky. A lot of people are changing their screen names for some reason. I'm not watching Meekum Auctions right now, but Fornicate. Getting back to thoughts on Minneapolis. I mean, it ain't a good look for Ice. Because of the angles I saw, she wasn't trying to run over I mean, they were aggressive. I mean, they have a Ferrari 5. Is it on TV right now? What channel on DirecTV? Why did you guys super chat me enough so I could buy the Ferrari? Well, I get it. But like, I think Peter the Chicken Man Brennan is now Peter _ Brennan. So it seems like people changed their handles as soon as they went to the YouTube or ESPN. Oh, okay. I mean, if I ever made a big chunk of change in comedy or, you know, I don't know, a rich relative died and left me millions, I'd probably get a fully loaded Porsche 911 GT3 with a fat wing on the back. Or maybe the Ferrari Daytona from Miami Vice, which I believe was a Corvette chassis. Riva Ridge, yeah, I mean, there's so many great horses back, you know, Affirmed, Aladar, Vigors, John Henry, Mr. Radoy. I mean, some great. I'm trying to think of other. I mean, that was my era. It was kind of like bodybuilding. I really followed horse racing for a very specific. You know, it's got to be automatic though. I can't drive stick. I mean, I can drive it, but I don't want to worry about it. So there's a Thousand Oaks Porsche I used to go with Lois, and I would just walk around at 3 a.m. Did my dad bet the ponies? My dad and my mom and I would go to the racetrack, and dad and mom would go to the turf club, and dad would bet at the high roller window. And I would they would let me at like 12 years old go down to the field level and with the real fucking animals. Oh, wow. But it's probably Sticks. Yeah, Spectacular Bid was a great horse. J.O. Tobin, I think that's the horse that beat Seattle Slew. I remember I cried when Seattle Slew lost. I remember listening to that on the radio because my parents went both to Santa Anita and Hollywood and even to Del Mar. So weird to me that Hollywood Park is now SoFi Stadium. I'm surprised they haven't auctioned off one of the Miami Vice cars. Yeah, this won't. We won't be going to. We'll go about another 10 minutes. We'll hit the 45-minute mark. Yeah, I cried when Mike Tyson lost, not because I was sad, because I bet 500 bucks on him. Hoo hoo. Um, you know, definitely horse racing was. I actually went to a dog racing thing in Florida, Hialeah, I think. I didn't really like it, but you know, well, I mean, my dad was, I mean, he knew owners and trainers. I mean, horse racing is kind of, I was pretty good at it. I had a weird system, man. Any white horse I would bet, and they'd always finish in the money. But they can't be gray. They got to be albino white, like Vigors. And any descendant of Seattle Slew, I'm not going to say they all won, but they usually did pretty well. Yeah, I think they have the Stallone's car from Cobra at the Peterson Museum. I want to check that out. I think they let you take pictures and shit and videos, so that could be an interesting stream one day. I mean, I'm doing whatever I can to get some numbers in this stream. So, but I'm surprised they haven't auctioned off. Yeah, I could do that one day. I mean, I know my friend Jordan has taken video there, so I'm pretty sure you can do video. But I'm not quite sure. I think you just can't touch the cars, but I would think that the white Ferrari in Miami Vice they would have auctioned off. Definitely the black Daytona, which I don't think was a Daytona. I think it had a Corvette chassis, and they just put a Daytona shell over it, which kind of makes sense. I mean, if you look at that black Daytona, it did kind of, it was very similar in size to a Corvette. Um, yeah, but I don't think they want people touching shit in there. Now you could probably charge 200 or something just to eliminate the pores. Um, so I mean, Miami Vice had some great cars. I mean, hell, even Switek's car was like a two-door convertible. Um, I forget the make, but if you look up the death of Zito on YouTube, the first scene is Switek pulling into the gym in a very cool 50s style convertible. Oh wow! Does Meekum have a site where they list the cars, like and show pictures? Yeah, Jordan the Lion, I think, did a tour of the Peterson Museum, and from what I recall, he sent me video of Stallone's car in Cobra. Um, so, so you can look up. Is it Meekum, or is it just Meekum Auctions, or is it a specific city? I'd lose my mind if I was at those. I used to bid on game worn jerseys live, and the funny thing is, I'd go to the Long Beach Ice Dog games, and Jordan the Lion is one of the preeminent, I guess you would call them vloggers on the internet. Oh, interesting. Corvette Summer. Kissing me. Oh, okay. Thank you, A. Thompson. I just like to look. And so, like, I always wanted the Fighters jersey. And of course, the fighter on the Ice Dogs was Roger Maxwell and Jimmy Boom Boom Bonneau. Now, Jimmy Bonneau was kind of a good looking guy. So all the puck bunnies wanted his jersey. So me and my friends would block for each other. Because what you would do is, for the first two periods, it was a blind auction. So you would put what you wanted to pay for it. And you were kind of risking. Interesting. Interesting. Thank you, Hi-Fi. And then at the end of the second period, they'd call it. So me and my friends would block each other. They had like 20 sheets for the 20 players whose jerseys were up for sale. And you could you knew what someone bid, like it wasn't a blind auction. So you'd see Susie, Jimmy Bonneau, $500. So you'd wait till the very last minute of the second period and go, Earl, $502. And so my friends and I would block for each other. It's like, okay, Earl, you want Roger Maxwell or Jimmy Bonneau. So we'll stand in line so people can't bid on his jersey. And you stand in line for our jersey because, it was pretty funny, actually. Interesting. Oh, really? That's actually pretty funny. I picked the least invasive commercials. So, oh yeah, I'm friends with all of them. As a matter of fact, no, the jerseys. I think the minimum bid might have been $200, but it got heated, man, because Jimmy Bonneau, like I said, was a good-looking guy, so all the girls wanted his jersey. I remember once I paid $975 for a Jimmy Bonneau alt jersey, and I probably couldn't get $300 for that jersey right now. Jimmy, you son of a bitch. So yeah, I'm gonna see a lot of them. I'm doing next Saturday night in Las Vegas. I'll be performing at the Punk Rock Museum, headlining my first Don't Tell show, which is Don't Tell shows are all over the country, and they have comedy in like these weird venues like the Punk Rock Museum, and they sell out, and they're really fun, and the pay is good, and the puss is good. So, but all those guys who got me into comedy, they'll be there because they randomly are going to be in Vegas that weekend. So I'm excited about that. I am looking forward to the show. I mean, I hate Vegas, but um, to get in with the Don't Tell circuit is pretty good. So I can't imagine I wouldn't do well. We'll go about another 5 minutes, guys. Just a baby IMAX stream. The numbers aren't great. I would say if this was done on an iPhone, we'd probably have 30 to 40 people on here. So every now and then I try and, this is like a reward stream for all your guys' support over the years. I just don't drink. I don't smoke. I mean, I'd probably like it a little more if I played golf, if I still played golf, because there's some fantastic courses there. So, and it's not a great comedy city. There's a lot of comedy clubs there. There's the Cellar at the Rio. There's Brad Garrett's Comedy Club. There's a couple Wise Guys. There's the LA Comedy Club at the Stratosphere. But really, the only good club is Brad Garrett's because he's hands-on with it. Like, he approves the comics. He works the club. Like, he actually performs there a lot. And, the Cellar, when it first started at the Rio, was great because they would fly out New York comics. Now, not so much. So, and it also sucks, like, in Vegas, if you play Brad Garrett's club, you're there Sunday to Saturday. I don't want to be in Vegas for 7 days. And usually Vegas crowds at a comedy club are awful. They're just tourists who are bored. They've lost all their money, so they get a free ticket to the comedy club. And, the casinos kind of shoo them out of there because they don't want people in the comedy club for an hour and a half. They want them at the fucking tables homes. So they're, in general, not the best audiences. Yeah, I mean, Bert's entertaining. I mean, Bert's like the Kiss of comics. Would you take a Vegas residency? I mean, money's money. Boy, it'd have to be a lot. Bolivia in Vegas. I know she was in Vegas. She's kind of a nomad, man. Like, she fucks her way out of every city. So I think, the last report I get, and I don't ask for reports on her, is that she was doing comedy in like Palm Springs or something, which nobody does comedy there. So, I mean, she essentially fucked her way out of LA twice, fucked her way out of New York twice. Even Stanhope's crew, from what I understand, is distancing themselves from her. And I mean, I can't say I wish her well, but like I don't wish her harm. Um, of course, when someone tells the LA comedy community that you hit them and threw them down a flight of stairs, I'm not going to have a lot of love for her. But yeah, I haven't seen her shit 7 years, and people still bring her up to me. So Snipe Meekum. I mean, I don't want to get in trouble though. A. Thompson. Actually, I can't snipe right now because I'm on my iMac. If I was on my phone, I could. So you know what? Fuck it. We'll do an hour on my iMac. 15 more minutes, guys. So get your questions in, and you want to talk about ex-girlfriends? Let's do it. Yeah, I think they also did something similar at that club off the strip, Tramps. Um, oh yeah, I put out plenty of YouTube shorts. I mean, they're not live; they never were. Um, you know, I put out probably 3 to 5 shorts a week, courtesy of Hi-Fi Protege. Thank you very much. So, I don't put out too many long form videos because they just, for whatever reason, they don't do well. I'm lucky if I get 200 views on a long form video. But the shorts in general, I average, I don't know, anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 views. Of course, the live streams are kind of all over the place. Um, so, I'm just throwing enough shit against the wall. Hopefully, it's the Matt Rife method. Just put out videos like a school shooter, man, and hopefully one pops. I did have one short that got recently, I think last week, got close to 8,000 views. So, on a channel that has, 4,600 subs or something, to get something that basically double your subscribers is pretty good. Um, yeah, I love Tracy Guns. I don't think I can afford. I wish I had the money you thought I had, A. Thompson. You want to give me some money, honey? But ironically enough, a Porsche is my dream car. But I sat in one at Thousand Oaks Auto Mall. I was kind of almost too big for it, but I've just fantasized about a nice fat automatic Porsche with a big wing in it, or wing on it at the back. Of course, I'd like a nice Ferrari, but and then I'd like a. This makes no sense, but I'd like a big truck. So just a random. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine what an oil change on a Ferrari costs. It's got to be $1,000 because it's not like you could just put like Valvoline in it. I'm sure. And in LA, there's not many Ferrari dealers. I mean, there might be one in Beverly Hills, and there's a Ferrari dealership. And oh shit, Kim Nicholson, $2. The first super chat on the IMAX stream. Well, Kim, you know what that gets. Have you seen the truck that Spade is selling? I have not. I am not going to Hackmania. I was not invited, but I'm fine with that. I went the first year. I had a good time, but yeah, 15 minutes longer definitely got me $2. So, I just the comedy show at Hackmania was not good, and that's not on Melton. Just they want Dabbleverse jokes. They want I would go if they had like a Dabbleverse roast. Not a roast battle, but a roast. I still think they should do a roast at the Stand in New York, a Chad roast. Thumbnail makes you look older. What these fuck? Everything else is accurate. The thumbnail, I don't know. I think I look pretty good in my thumbnail. High five, you son of a bitch. But never say never. I might be in Vegas doing comedy that very same weekend. I mean, I know Melton is a controversial figure, but to be honest with you, Melton treated me right, man. So I got nothing bad to say about him. I know he's involved in a lot of drama and shit. Don't you think Chad's too thin-skinned? That would make it even better, man. But can you imagine at the stand in New York? Because I think most of the Dabbleverse people are in the East Coast, so I would fly to New York for that shit. You have, obviously, Chad is the roasty, and then the dais would be, you could have Gino, you could have Kevin, you could have me, you could have Melton, you could have Shuley, you could have Bob Levy, and then you get a couple wild cards. You get Bichetti, you got Tom Cassidy, few girls. I don't know. I don't think like people like Ava or people like her are comics, so you wouldn't want them on it. But you have Kumia, Melton. I mean, it'd be fucking great. And then what you could do is you could do it. Yeah, obviously you got to have Ray DeVito. You could do it old school, like the Ice House Chronicle shows that Red Band used to do. Is you have a podcast in one room, and then you have a comedy show in the other room. So, say I go on, you have Aaron Berg host it. You have Kiki on it. I don't know if she would be a good roaster, but I guess you could do that. You do a live podcast. I mean, I think you can make money on it, but I'm not going to get involved in running it. Why didn't he invite me? I don't know. I mean, it's his. I think it's because I'll guess because I'm not really. Yeah, you probably wouldn't get half those people in the room, but Tom Cassidy hates Chad, so that would be funny. I mean, Kevin would do it. I mean, I think the only wild card, I think actually thinking back, I think you could get most of those people in the room. Now, the problem is pay. I think the show is sell out, but, I mean, you take someone like me, I'm flying from LA. That's plane tickets, a couple $100, accommodations are a couple $100. I mean, you'd have to have people lose money I would lose money to do that roast. What does Daddy think of Bert Kreischer? I mean, he's like the kiss of comics. Is he the greatest joke teller? Yeah, probably not, but he's a great, it's a show with Bert. So, I mean, I think that would be awesome. Yeah, Pauly Shore actually absolutely has some cool cars. So, but, in terms of Hackamania, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to beg to do Hackamania. Like, it's more of a podcast weekend than a comedy show. Now, I will say when we did win Earl Skakel's money, we gave away over $1,000 to Vegas comics. That was my favorite part of the weekend because it was like Kill Tony. It was me, Kool-Aid, who's a Vegas comic, and Tukey. And it was a fucking blast. So, but I don't, they don't want comedy there. That's what I think Ray doesn't realize is he got an applause break, not because he was doing that well, but because people were just happy to see the guy they all goof on in person. Like it was exciting for them. So, I mean, I don't, but see, Kim, I can't lose money. Like, I'm not, for me to drive to LA to Vegas, that's $200. A hotel for the weekend, 3 nights. That's probably, at least $400 to $500. I'm not spending $800 to hang out at Hackamania. But it would be awesome to meet you, for sure. But I'm not losing $800 to. No, I have beyond zero interest in hanging out with Scarlett. She's bad news, man. I'm sure she's nice, but like Roy Cohn, $1.99. How can you roast someone who lies constantly? Good point. Well, Kim, why don't you make a stop in Los Angeles? I'll take you to Dan Tana's. Um, I mean, if you don't think Scarlett flirting with uh, Carmick was a little dig at Meade, and that's exactly what that was. Because I've dated OnlyFans girls, I've dated porn girls, and like they love gaslighting because they know they can. Um, they know that they make their money on their looks. And, once, I mean, Scarlett's already aged from the content house thing she did to now she's aged. Now, I'm going to guess her genre of porn was young, hey, this girl looks like a teenager, but she don't look like a teenager anymore. I mean, she's pretty, but, there's some, I think, some chemical dependency issues there. And I don't see a happy ending there. Like, and she just, I couldn't listen to the segment with her and Kevin Brennan. I just couldn't do it. So, she's getting her 15 minutes of Dabbleverse fame, and then she'll move on. And High Five Protege, welcome to Bonzo motherfucking Barry. Well, Kim Nicholson, what part of the country are you coming from? I didn't even know there was a bowl game tonight. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Scarlett because I've seen this. I've seen this movie before. It rarely ends well for OnlyFans or porn girls. There's a shelf life to these people, and as soon as that shelf life is, it's like milk, spoiled milk. Once you're like, you gain a few pounds or you get a few wrinkles, you're done, and then they're on to the next one. They're on to the younger version of you. Okay, right on. Puerto Rico in the house. So, I don't. Big W, 4.99. Earl, how do we get you come hang out on Clowntown Saturdays, 10 p.m. Pacific? I mean, I could come. I would go on depending on who the guests were. Big W. Let me give you the green ray gun, baby. I'd lose my mind if Tommy Jordan was on. Because he just interrupts. He doesn't let people talk. I would literally just delete. Anything's possible, Big W. And I actually like Tommy Jordan's content, but when he's on a show with other people, he just speaks gibberish and interrupts, and I don't deal well with that. The interrupting shit. Oh no, I mean, Big W, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your show. I just I think Tommy's like the newest whatever of the Dabbleverse. Let him enjoy his 15 minutes, but I would not do well with him interrupting me. I just well, I think OnlyFans, like I dated 2 OnlyFans girls, and well, maybe I'll come on this Saturday. I know I have a spot at the Comedy Store at midnight, and it depends when I get my own stream done. But let's talk. Oh no, I mean you High Five Protege, you owe me nothing. The thing with OnlyFans girls is I've known a few. I've dated 2 and hung out a little bit with one. I wouldn't say we didn't do anything, but she was, she had giant tits, like giant. I mean, giant natural tits, and she didn't really. Whoa, whoa, whoa! She didn't really work out at all, so she kind of aged really fast, and she just ended up moving to Portland. So, I mean, it's just not a world that you want to, and I think they're attention whores. Hey, look at my tits, look at my pussy, look at this, look at that, and that's fine. But as you can see with Scarlett, she's already running out of stuff to talk about. And once, the Meade storyline dies down, really, what does she have to talk about? Yeah, I mean, 20 people in my IMAX stream is a lot. If this was on the iPhone, that probably translates to 40 to 50. So, every now and then we won't do many IMAX streams. Ava is not okay. Yeah, I mean, I was talking. My friend, she came out to LA to be a comic. She wasn't the funniest person, but because she had these enormous tits, like natural. She did OnlyFans. She didn't kill it, but she did well. She's autistic too, so it's a whole other ball of wax. And she was so awkward to be around that nobody wanted her around. So she just moved to Portland, and the one OnlyFans girl I dated, she's so much like Scarlett. It's literally the same fucking problems. The gaslighting, like she wanted to hang out with me, but she had a boyfriend who I was friends with, and so she was playing us two against each other. And see, I don't think it is though, Roy. I think if anything, Scarlett is reinvigorating the Dabbleverse people because they all want her on the stream, but it's the same question. Hey, has Matt Mead hit you? Okay. What's Chrissy Mayer like? Okay, well, I mean, Chrissy's kind of old news, to be honest. So I don't think I would do an OnlyFans. An early fans, I would just put up my one dick pic and just, I don't know, change the filter every month. My Jeff Nichols, your mom. Yeah, I mean, but there's something about giant natural boobs that, I don't know. I mean, what can you do with them? They're only, they're basically fat, but they're nice to look at. Scarlett, I mean, I've been around so many girls like Scarlett. Like, I can't. I mean, I've been an LA club kid since the late 80s. I've seen a million Scarletts, and not one ends positively. I don't mean they unalive themselves, but she's she doesn't realize it's kind of like karmic, where these people who are like small town people, they get into the Dabbleverse with these established comics and podcasters, and they're just in over their skis. So yeah, daddy don't like fake tits. And she's unlistenable too. Like, I love Kevin Brennan. Say what you want about Kevin or whatever, but like, he's funny. And I had to but big tits, I mean, big tits, I mean, for me, it's a visual thing, like big tits, giant, whatever. I mean, this OnlyFans girl, I think, I want to say her bra size was 36H. And I also dated a girl within the last couple of years who had 36H. I mean, yowza. Well, I mean, I just think with Scarlett, how big is big, not giant? I'm going to guess D, double D. I mean, double D is not necessarily giant, but you notice them. So, is Nasty Neil in here? Oh, Nasty Neil is in here. The great Nasty Neil. I mean, it's Dabbleverse is in the house. The Dabbleverse is terrible right now. It's not interesting. Karmic scamming people to give him money. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely Todoro26. Hit the like and subscribe button, Todoro. I don't remember seeing you in here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's I don't know. I like karmic. It's very one note. I think Scarlett, I just don't think is interesting. I mean, she's a pilled out ex-porn girl. She's not a porn star. She's a porn actress. There's a big fucking difference. Yes, we are EA Sports. It's in the game. So, I mean, I just don't think she's interesting enough to maintain. I mean, the Dabbleverse, you always have these people who have their 15 minutes of fame, and then, yeah, I bet they are nasty. I got you down for a D cup. And, like, I don't know. That's why Chad is so essential to the Dabbleverse. I mean, say what you want about Chad, but he stirs the pot, and it's slightly different each time. I slept a little bit, but then Lois woke me up at about 5:30, so I've been up ever since. So to be honest with you, I'll go back to bed, and then this will probably be my only stream. I might do a phone stream later. Yeah, I mean, I dated a girl in 2024 that was 36H, and she wasn't heavy. Like, she was thick, but like a skinny thick. A Miami Fire McDowell. Yeah, I mean, that was expected. But 36H, I mean, it's like I mean, they were pretty big. Now she was a complete cunt, but like we it only yeah, be careful, Kim, in the Dabbleverse at Hackamania. I mean, people were circling Lady KB like vultures, myself included. Who? Of course, Ray DeVito wouldn't take the hint. I was trying to put my move on Lady KB, and I'm not saying she was interested, but I was gonna take a shot. And Ray DeVito is asking me about my favorite Killers album. So that was a fun. I had a fun time in Academia. Unfortunately, I had to leave Saturday morning because the Comedy Store wanted me to close out the Saturday night show. So I was not able to experience the whole Dabbleverse weekend. But it was kind of neat to meet everyone, to meet Carl, his wife. I think I met Tio Hank, Bentley, Melton, Moody, Tukey. I mean, H, yeah, it really is. I mean, I would say the girl I dated, now she was a bartender, and she didn't work out at all, and she was a model, but, she was in her 30s and starting to, the booze was starting to catch up with her. Now, the funny thing is she ghosted me. Oh boy, watch out, watch out. Andrew Jacobs, 499, the great Andrew Jacobs, one of my first, maybe my first fan. I was a big OnlyFans simp in 2020 when I got laid off, separated from my wife, who was getting enhanced California unemployment benefits, stopped after 5 or 6 months. Well, this girl with the giant tits, I mean, she was an alcoholic, which is too bad because she was actually kind of cool. But the booze, she ended up being a disaster for me. We only dated about 5 months, 4 to 5 months. And then one night she told me she loved me. And then literally hours later, she's like, yeah, I'm not feeling it anymore. I'm like, well, you just told me you love me. Now, here's the greatest revenge story I've ever had. So about 2 months ago, I ordered Postmates. Now, she had ghosted me. I guess she was bad-mouthing me to all our mutual friends. They all took my side. They always do. All these exes I have, they all talk shit about me, but I always win the mutual friends over, and I don't even try. And she was my Postmates delivery. It was the best. I got a boner when she showed up to my door, basically begging for a tip. So, well, I mean, I'm not, like there's always, I'm not perfect, and but with the 36H girl, I was pretty perfect. Um, that's fine. Is it Leo Gunn, A. Thompson? He's kind of he was always going, but he's not really Dabbleverse. Um, oh, it was the best revenge ever. I mean, and the look of embarrassment on her face was awesome. So, well, I think OnlyFans is a little more personable. At least that's what they want you to think. Um, I mean, yeah, but then there's that one girl who made like I think she said in 2 years she's made 95 million. I don't know if I believe that, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know why. I mean, DirecTV has like 6 porn channels that you can pay $10 to watch an hour and a half. It's like, why wouldn't you just go on YouPorn or Pornhub for free? Um, so, well, the funny thing is, though, on DMs, it's usually not them. Like the two OnlyFans girls I dated, they both told me it had some dude we hired to answer all the DMs. So, well, I mean, yeah, 100% A. Thompson. I mean, but this girl loved having giant tits. I mean, I met her at Jones, the restaurant I'm always going to, Santa Monica and La Brea, for those of you, Panhandler. Fuck yeah, Panhandler knows the game. He's doing the Earl line. Um, yeah, we don't do the Jesus shit in here. And tell that to the guy who jumped off of Tower 2 on 9/11. Was Jesus on his fucking lunch break, you Momo? Well, yeah, but the top ones, that's like saying the top comics make, money. Um, so, um, but I would see her. I'll never forget the first time I saw her at Jones. I was eating rigatoni and spaghetti bolognese. And my friend was like tapping me on the shoulder, going, Earl, look up, just look up straight ahead. And I'm like, I'm eating, man. I'm fucking hungry. No, look up straight ahead right now. So I look up and she was sitting across from me and she showed him every time we went out, she showed him. She would kill it on OnlyFans because she's a little bloated from the drinking, but she's still very cute. I mean, as much of a cunt as she is. So, I mean, Panhandler, you picked the right time to come into my stream. So, but I've also dated girls who are A cups. I'm a vibe guy. I don't really have um, uh, a type per se. I mean, if you look up my last 5 girlfriends, or if you put them all together in one group photo, um, they all look completely different. Like one girl looked like Julia Roberts. I mean, literally a younger Julia Roberts. I mean, exactly a younger Julia Roberts. So very pretty. And then, Bolivia kind of, she had that Amy Schumer type, like a heavier set Amy Schumer. And then my ex-fiance, she kind of looked to me anyway like Miley Cyrus. And then, a couple other girls, looked like other people. So you would not guess the same guy dated all these girls. Lois's mom, Gail, looks to me exactly like Pink, which is ironic because they're from the same hometown of Bucks County, Doylestown, PA. Thank you very much. So, well, I mean, every girl I date is younger than me. I mean, I'm 57. I don't hang out with 57-year-old women. They're just not, they're not at the Comedy Store. So, it's not even like younger women are my thing. It's just that's all I'm around. The Comedy Store skews to a very young audience. I would say most of the women at the Comedy Store are from 20 to 40 years old. You think 40 years old, but that's still 17 years younger than me. So, let me see here. We'll go to 120, guys. 120. So about another 5-6 minutes. And then I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going back to bed. Do the MILFs go to the, yeah, I mean, there's some MILFs that go to the Comedy Store. My cutoff is they have to be 18. And then other than that, I mean, I've dated women who are 8 years older than me. Um, well, but hers looked great. I mean, because she had, I mean, she was thick but not fat, so she had the frame to hold them. I mean, um, well, I mean, I don't seek out dating women in their 20s. It's just what I'm around. And, to a lot of them, most of the girls I meet are at the comedy store, because that's, I don't go to clubs or whatever. So, they see me on stage and, I'm wearing the leather pants, the custom YSL jacket. It's a fucking performance piece for me. So, I'm a very marginal celebrity to them. It's like when I do the Don't Tell show in Vegas. Don't Tell shows skew very young audiences, 20s and early 30s. So big boned Jones in the house is big Ben Bones Jones in here. That's cool. Listen, trans. I mean, I don't think I could be with a trans woman. Just but there's nothing against it. Well, I mean, bigger is like tits are like it is kind of like a foot long dick. Have I heard of the Comedy Store? I perform there every week, baby. Um, so, I mean, big tits are kind of like a big dick. I mean, if you have a foot long dick, I know a guy, Jack Napier. He's a porn guy, but I'm friends with him via the Comedy Store, of course. He has like a 13-inch dick. There's very few women. He says I actually don't have sex that often. My dick is too big. I mean, what a problem to have. Yeah, I mean, Jack Hammer. I mean, Jack Napier is the biggest dick in porn. 13 inches. Like, what girl could take that? Yeah, I'm a vibe guy. I'm a vibe guy for sure. Yeah. Yoshi Obayashi, he is crazy. One of my dear comedy friends. I don't know if that's the Yoshi you're talking about. It sucks though sometimes to be so well endowed. Bolivia would fuck a 18 wheeler. She could probably get it to fit. Uh, um, but doing comedy in Palm Desert, how'd that work out? Yoshi is out of control. I haven't seen him in a while. He does these weird trips to like far off lands. I don't even want to know what he's doing. Don't ask, don't tell, baby. I think Ron Jeremy got out based on he's crazy. All right, 2 more minutes, guys. We'll go another 2 minutes. This has been a fun old school IMAX stream. As you can see, it is now light behind me. We started the stream, it was complete darkness. Yeah, I mean, Bolivia, the funny thing is, her best year in comedy was when we dated. And right after we broke up, it was all downhill from there, baby. You could say that about someone else too, but we don't have to get into that. From Dan Tanas to Del Tacos, baby. Uh, well, Ron Jeremy does not look very good, but what a piece of shit. I mean, when you get Me Too'd out of fucking porn, you got a problem. Um, so, um, well, now they're ordering off the value meal section of the drive-through. They're not getting the steak tartare off the menu, baby. The guy after me, he might be next, but he'll never be first. I mean, I just want someone who's not a narcissist and not a complete cunt. But I'm in LA. That's all I'm around. So unfortunately, yeah. See, I actually tip the waiters where I go. You don't have to tip at Del Taco because there's no waiter. There's a 17-year-old kid with acne taking your order. But that's all right. You know what? It's all right. And I get all the mutual friends too. I mean, the last couple girlfriends have talked mad shit about me. He's this, he's that. He cheated. Well, I don't think you really want to have that discussion because, the great thing about me and my family connections is they might not be able to help me in the world of comedy, but what they do give me access to is people with very particular skill sets. I mean, I know a girl, she's a friend of mine. She could hack into anywhere. And she might have done something that bordered on illegal for me in terms of tapping someone's phone. But it's funny the messages you see when you do that. Anyway, I love you all. You guys are fucking soldiers in the Earl Army. Maybe we'll do an old school IMAX stream in the mornings every now and then. Thank you for the super chats, the financial donations. Thank you for the likes and subscribes. Panhandler, good to see you in the stream. Rumors of an appearance by me on Clowntown Saturday night. I cannot confirm or deny. And watch the newest shorts if you can. A lot of people, I'll Nasty Neil in the house. Maybe he'll be on Clowntown. A lot of people ask fellow streamers like myself, Panhandler, Nasty Neil, and all the other people who have their own streams, Clowntown, and all the other Dabbleverse related shows. Earl, if we can't give you money, honey, how can we help you? How can you help Panhandler? How can you help Nasty Neil? How can you help, streamers grow their channel? It's easy. You can just hit the like and subscribe button. Something as simple as that helps. Watching the videos helps. Commenting on the video helps. And if you don't like the videos, tell me. Like, I leave all comments up. I don't censor anyone's comments. There's a few comics or a few people who watch my stream who leave kind of like negative comments. I leave them up. I love you, Sasha. I love you, Roy Cohn. I might do a phone stream later tonight. Earl Skakel, over and out.